Who wants to catch Bailey up on what happened last week?
Oh,
Charla.
Yeah, that is your new name.
oh. After we talked to the boy in the tavern, we got information about Ain. Went to the south above, talked to her. Getting there, pick up.
Is Mavis cutting out for anyone
Yeah,
else?
you're
Oh,
dropping
yeah.
like every so often.
Yeah, sorry, bud. I can only hear about half of a sentence.
what about now?
So far, so good.
Yeah, won't know until longer sentences.
Yeah.
So after we talked to the boy that.
No, it's still doing the same.
Oh my gosh. What is this?
I think it's the same kind of thing that happened when you and I were first trying to talk. It sounds like the same error.
Oh, now.
I think
Won't
I heard
know
a little bit
until-
of tailing off there.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh, and we talked to the boy in the tavern.
Yeah,
that
same,
good?
Still
same
going.
thing.
Oh my gosh.
Well, Mavis gets the technical issue sorted with someone else, like, to fill us in on what happened last session.
Okay, so
Sorry.
we went to the. We went down. It was at Iron Flagon,
Mhm.
and we got info there about from the kid. We got info that what's his name? Kent was a terrible, corrupt cop, and we went up to the hair salon to meet someone who knew about that, and then we discovered that Kent was doing some shady stuff around the sort of the manufacturing bit. And then half of us went to the garden. No, wait. All of us except Jar went to the garden, and we had a conversation with a platypus, and then we came up with this interesting idea about using platypus venom to incapacitate Kent so that he wouldn't be able to do his job, and then that's our mission complete. And whilst that was happening, Jar just straight up goes to the market, goes up to Kent, and does Jar things. That's what I can describe it as.
Very, very warrior aligned jar things.
Jar had quite a series of interesting solo adventures last session, I believe.
Yeah.
Starting off with a teenage girl magazine.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Which is why Umbra now has the nickname Chala.
Right, because there was a questionnaire in the magazine while so Jar sat in the main waiting room during the salon investigation, and while they were all talking to the person, Jar was going through the questionnaire and found out that they were aligned with the kind of like idea. It was one of those which of the 13 wives of the emperor are you? Jar got the ninth one, Dallas, House of Tyron.
Yes,
And
of
then
North Brattle.
Dal's a House Tyrant, North Brattle, and then Umbra ended up getting Chala of House Cartiran of South Brattle. So that's where that entire line came from. Oh, and then Jar also bought like 4 crates of fruits and vegetables.
Yep.
And you
Yes.
handed a bunch out, really, to those less fortunate. Who were
3
also
whole
very
crates
suspicious.
3 whole crates went to Clayshade. One of them got taken in. 2 of them were left, and then Jar now has a crate of onions.
Yes.
Oh.
And anyone else?
One
Name
of the things that,
platypus.
yeah, I was going to say, one of the things that Jar did in front of Kent was to just eat an onion,
Yeah, skin
just
and
a
all.
raw onion.
They did take a bite of a whole onion, yeah, skin and all.
And then there's also, there's also Bruce the Platypus, which is who was it? Me and Zell, Brook, and Cain were talking to, and Bruce the Platypus is like willing to help us because Kent kicked Bruce.
Yeah, ended up snapping off one of its hind spurs.
Mm.
When Bruce tried to envenomate Kent with his little hind spurs, turns out that they are no match for a steel boot. Yes, you all did various things around the city and have resolved yourselves to spend a few hours at the Flagon while you wait for the meeting place, the meeting time that you know Kent will be attending around 7:30 this evening. And we ended it there because I just wanted to know if there's anything in particular Umbra wanted to get up to in the city in the day beforehand. If you are talking, Bailey, I can't hear you. That might be my settings. No.
No, Bailey hasn't said anything
I can
so
hear
far.
like mumbling. Hang on, let me look on to see what Discord is saying.
Fair enough.
Oh, okay.
His mother's going down. Well, in that case, while we're waiting, what is the rest of the party doing just sitting around in the tavern?
Drink. Pub.
Pub things.
Yeah, pub things. So Zell will just buy a drink whilst she's waiting.
Cool. Alcoholic or non-alcoholic?
Alcoholic.
Okay. You
Weak
got like
alcohol.
beer, wine, spirits.
Um,
Not much in the way of wine. It seems that's quite a rare, pricey item right now.
yeah, just beer.
Cool. It'll cost you 2
how much?
silver.
Zell is also using this as a very annoying moment to get some copper because yes, I hand over a silver.
The innkeeper will accept it and wait for the other silver.
Oh, did you say it was 2 silver?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. Oh yeah, sure, 2 silver. I heard copper for some reason. I don't know why.
You will be, you'll have 2 silver liberated from you, and you'll get a pint of a very underwhelming beer in return.
I wasn't really expecting anything else from here, but I don't say that loud. But
You
yeah.
drink your beer judgmentally. And just to paint the scene a little bit more for everyone, the pub has emptied out quite a fair amount since the lunchtime rush, but as the afternoon is wearing on a bit more, a few more people are coming in and filling the place out. The child seems to have disappeared and been replaced with a more age-appropriate member of the wait staff, who is pretty busy flitting between a couple of tables. There's a table with 3 dwarves that are playing some form of dice game. A couple of groups of very exhausted-looking workers who are mumbling amongst themselves. One of them seems to have some form of newspaper or booklet on the table in front of them.
Reading. Oats.
You're
paying too much attention.
still doing that thing, I'm afraid.
I usually reset my adapter whenever that happens, but I don't know how the internet.
Is that what? Is that what?
I restart my like internet adapter. Not the hub, the in computer thing, but yeah.
Depends what kind of system you're using.
Yeah.
I remember last time your phone microphone worked well.
Yeah, it's because I got my computer back. I remember the duration.
I almost heard a complete sentence there. Oh, I'm sorry, Mavis. Thought I'd be the only one fighting technical issues today.
What
technical issues are the true BBEG?
Yes.
I was gonna say, what operating system are you using?
Windows.
Okay, do you see on the taskbar there's a little like internet or radio symbol? If you right click on that and go to diagnose network problems.
Hero thought that Josh would be getting a day off from listening to IT technical support.
No.
You think I'm listening?
Wow.
I zone out when I hear the technicalities on a weekend.
No,
Josh
I believe you the
gets
first time.
Goes into war flashbacks. Just anytime technical issues happen on the weekend, just nom flashbacks.
Like that little chihuahua meme.
Yeah.
Fair. Well, let's see what someone other than Cain is doing then. What about Brook and Jar?
Jar is eating an onion.
Again, just like whole skin on.
Yep, there's just a whole onion that's just like in Jar's hand that's like somehow going underneath the like rim of the helm. And then like nobody can see really how the entire like process works, but you can assume that with there being like crunching and with the veg coming out like with bites taken out of it, that it has to have been like the process of eating it has to be being done.
You hear some very warrior-like crunching. The innkeeper is going to approach you. As much as I appreciate the ambience, no outside food allowed here.
Apologies. I shall set this aside. However, unfortunately, with this being an open crate, I do not know where I am able to store this, unless you happen to have storage within your facility.
We can store things in the back for you, or you could.
Ah, perfect.
perhaps-
Thank you. And then Jar just kind of like hands the crate over. Like, not even waiting for a second word. As soon as confirmation happens, they just hand it over.
The innkeeper's gonna take it. He's gonna walk into the back, and you can hear quite a confused, loud conversation between him and the cook. The cook is like, "Finally, some fresh vegetable. Oh, what's wrong with these?" Wait, what do you mean I can't use them? They're vegetables. They're in my kitchen. And so on. Until
Love
the
causing
chef
problems.
just sounds tired and resigned. Brooke.
He's just sitting there. Frankly, not doing anything. The boy is content,
Just full NPC mode.
basically.
The innkeeper will approach you a couple of times, just be like, "Would you like anything to drink? Eat?"
No, I'm alright.
Seems weirded out by you. Keeps a bit of a distance. And fingers crossed.
Of all the members, that's the one weirded out.
Yeah. I mean, it's very, very much not the ideal party. Zella's probably the most normal one in the group. And they're like a half goat person. And fingers crossed for technical issues. Cain, what are you up
Let's see
to?
now. I hope it's better.
Sounds it so far. Attempt to regale us with what you are up to, and we will let you know.
Okay. Cain would be reading his notes, not paying much attention to the surroundings, just in the corner and like could not be less bothered. And his how can I put that? His it's not that kind of bother, but that he's like pissed or something. He's just like, there's nothing to do. There's nothing to uh act or talk. There's no meaningful life, kind of thing.
Hmm.
And how much is the tavern full at now?
It's about 35% full. So about a third.
Okay. If it gets any more busy, any more full, I think Cain would just like slip out and be waiting outside.
Fair enough. Fair enough. If I'm thinking right, you guys are planning on sticking around here until like 7 p.m.
Yeah, into the meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jar's here for what everyone's doing.
Nice. Which is mostly sitting around being awkward lemmings. Which I love. What about Umbra?
I mean, Umbra would just be vibing. Probably just like in the corner.
Probably next to Cain then.
Hmm.
Or near enough.
So, What I get from this is that Zell's going to be the most normal looking one in there.
Yeah, so I mean, we've got person whose face is obscured by a gas mask wearing full hazmat gear. We've got person whose face is obscured by very roguish looking clothing. Person whose face is obscured by a big fucking jar. Person whose face is obscured by the crying of blood. And just a little satyr.
Yep.
Congratulations, you're the face.
Because you're the only one who has a face. Okay, well, no sense drawing things out. If you guys are just chilling, sitting around waiting for the meeting time, we can speed up a bit more there. The tavern does begin to get more and more full as 7:30 approaches, at which time I assume Cain will leave and wait outside. You can all get some dinner if you wish. Dinner will be 5 silver each.
Jars full on onions.
There seems to be a new special that the chef is attempting to write on the little blackboard behind you, called Orician Onion Soup.
There's no way for Jar to be able to read this, as Jar's face is covered with a jar.
You hear the scratching of someone doing something and then a hushed argument. But
Surely
otherwise,
that has nothing to do with me.
Yeah, otherwise, 7:30 rolls around. You see like a couple of groups of people that are in this tavern also getting up to leave around the same time.
Does this seem like against the flow at all?
Yeah, as in they're leaving at the same time that most people seem to be arriving. And these are like the
Are
same
these-
kind of groups that had some booklets with them.
Can I do a perception check to see if there's any commonality between them?
Go for it. Just a bunch of people.
Can I make a check to see their demeanor? Like, are they rushing out in like a panicked hurry, or is this just like they're getting up and leaving normally?
Sounds good. That would be insight. Yeah, that's it's pretty obvious that they're like, oh shit, we gotta go, it's time, and they seem to be walking somewhere quite excitedly.
Okay. And how are they dressed?
They're dressed quite poorly.
Okay.
Like there's not a lot of money going on in their households for fancy clothing, despite this town, selling a lot of that.
Jar's gonna kind of just like lean over and just be like towards like Zell, just be like, these people seem to be leaving in quite an excited hurry. Was there some sort of event happening within the pavilion that we passed by?
Zell wouldn't have noticed that, so it'd be like, no. Do you know what the time is?
Jar lifts a wrist up to the face, just like the head does not move, so it's just like a hand like just goes up, and then it goes down, and Jar's just like, I am unable to tell what time it is right now.
Does Zell know what the time is?
There
Zell
is
tell-
there is like an old grandfather clock in one corner of the room, and it reads just gone 7. You know that
Zell
Kent will be at this
probably-
meeting at 7:30.
Zell would probably head over to Umbra and say, "Hey, just spotted a bunch of people all leaving at the same time. Do you think they have anything to do with the thing on that's in half an hour?"
Potentially. I can trail them. I'm unsure if the rest of you are stealthy enough to do so.
Zell says, "Good. That's sort of what I was hoping you'd say."
A warrior does not sneak. It is not
A
the
warrior can
way.
stay here and drink or do whatever else he wants. And with that, Umbra's going to try and blend in with the crowd and leave and tail these people at a fair distance. Probably about maintaining like 6 feet, 12 feet, like enough. I'll say 10 feet, like enough that it's reasonable plausibility that he's just kind of moving in the same direction and not directly tailing.
Sounds good. These streets are quite busy at this time as well. It seems like a lot of people are traveling to a few different places. So why don't you give me a little stealth roll?
I'm
Nice.
sneak.
Nice. Wait, no, that's a +8, so you got 20.
Yeah, I
Yes.
net 20'd.
You were born into the shadow. Others merely adopted it.
Why do you think his name is Umbra?
Like you actually get bumped into a couple of times by people going on opposite ways because you're so like you blend in with the shadows of like the late afternoon, early evening so well. People don't actually notice that you're there, and even when they turn back to apologize, they're looking around for you and can't see anyone to apologize for. So you just get some confused looks from random passerbys, but those that you're tailing don't notice you at all, and they go up the street to the north, and then along to the east, and then they walk into the tailoring square, and you see that they all, the group knocks 3 times and pauses, then 4 more times on one of the wooden doors. It opens, and they disappear inside.
Do I know that like this square or whatever is like like open on the inside?
Yes, the just where you see that super small triangle thing that's like a gate,
Yeah.
that's like open to the street. It's how like carriages would get in and out, and currently the gate is still wide open as businesses seem to be like wrapping up their day.
Honestly, that's sort of how I imagined it. I imagined the pointy bit to be the gate, and then the rest of the triangle was like an outer facing wall, and then like when you have like those, not like stables, but like
Yeah, it's
little
pretty much
shelters.
exactly that. It's like a stable
So what-
yard type place.
Sorry, what building did they go into again? Sorry.
They went
Or
into
did they go?
They went to a door in the building next to the lower tree.
It's 3, then 4 times, right?
Okay.
Yeah. 3 times, pause, 4 times.
Okay.
Is there any like windows or anything open on that building?
Nope.
Is there any way to access the roof easily?
Give me a perception check.
20.
So, looking at the building, it's a 3-story building. They seem to be in on like this ground floor area. You can see like the glow of candles underneath the door. And you could theoretically like climb up by like hopping onto a wagon, climbing your way up a window, climbing onto the roof. It would take a little bit of luck and strength, but it's not undoable.
I think by this time, Cain would probably have looked into for Umbra too, because it's meeting time and he's waiting. So I think I'll probably reach him, maybe.
I mean, Zell would probably set off like 10, 15 minutes before 7:30, whenever that is. And would also let the others know that that's what's happening.
So everyone would meet up at some point.
Yeah, we should all be able. The location isn't too far.
It's in the gardens. So yeah.
Yeah, Umbra could come back and grab the others, or one of you could decide to see how he's doing. Or just
Yeah,
realize we need to be somewhere.
I just want to um, propose to Umbra that I could shapeshifter, not shapeshift, but white shape into a spider and help him with infiltration if needed. That was the one of my ideas last week.
Okay. Do you want to just like pop up behind Umbra, having like followed him
Yeah.
out of the pub?
Yeah.
And would the others come too then? I mean, Cain would be outside, but would the others go, oh, we do actually have to be somewhere?
Jar follows along with whatever the party needs for this plan. So if someone is getting up to go, then Jar is also up and ready to follow.
Oh, I suppose that leaves it up to Zell and Brook.
Brock will just follow whoever. He's really out of his element with this, so he's staying quiet.
Fair enough.
Sorry about that.
It's cool. I'm personally just a little
Uh,
sensitive to eating noises.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I was like eating and then looking at the little green circle and it wasn't coming up, and I was just like, okay, well, it's not being
Weird.
picked up. And then I went on to roll 20, and of course I didn't see that it was picking it up.
Yeah, that'll do it. It's cool. What would Zell like to do? Grab the others, head on off, or
yeah.
just like stick around, or
Well, I mean, Zell was fully intending to go to this, wherever this thing was. So, like, would let everybody know that the Zell's intention is to go there,
okay.
and then head off to the
Hey, Edwin.
well, I mean, just outside the square, probably, but yeah.
Cool. Where
So,
is
like,
Cain going?
Oh.
If you want to like really surprise Umbra, that's certainly a way to do it.
I guess the real question is, would they even know we're Sea Umbra?
Good
That's
question.
a good question.
In that case, instead of Cain surprising Umbra, I think Umbra would just be standing there, being one with the shadows, looking at the architecture of the building, and then suddenly just sees like Cain walking right in front of him. And Cain's like obviously looking around for you, and you can
Blocking his view.
you can hear, yeah, and you can hear coming, like approaching from behind you, talk of the warrior's way and whatnot.
when the parties come, I'm like, guys, what is Umbra? I thought he said he would be following the guys.
Um, maybe he followed them somewhere else.
They have entered the building.
So what do? We wait for him to come back?
Cell peers into the yard.
Wait, backtracking a sec. Does Umbra's voice just saying they have gone into the building just appear out of the shadows?
Yeah, he just openly talks to the party because I'm presuming he's just standing beside them.
I'm so confused.
You all are standing in a group. You can't see
Oh.
Umbra, but then his voice just pops out from the shadows right next to you. And at this point, I assume stealth would be broken, because that's a pretty unstealthy
Yeah.
thing to do. And it was just,
Okay.
everyone is like, oh, shit, there you are.
So what did you manage to get from information or likewise?
He'll point towards the building. They entered that building using a specific knock. It was 3, paused 4 knocks.
Hmm.
I was doing some looking about. It seems that we might be able to get to the roof of the building. I was unsure if a direct approach would be the most applicable, given we would need to bypass their security. May end up in a fight.
And do you think Jar will be able to, keep up in a silenced way?
Jar's walking towards the front gate.
Umbra at this point realizes his mistake and just lets out a sigh.
At the door, Jar just kind of like stands there, just kind of like sizes up the like height, and then at the door just goes like 1, 2, 3, pauses, and then goes 1, 2, 3, 4.
The door opens. A rather demure-looking human male is on the other side. Looks up and down at you, says, "Welcome, comrade," and stands aside to let you in. And beyond him, you can see that he's opening up the door to let you into some form of warehouse where everyone else has entered seems to just be gathered and mingling.
Jar just kind of like looks back at everybody, just kind of like says, "Well, the way is open, friends. Let us go forward." And then enters in.
Zell says, I didn't know Jar knew knock.
Umbra just lets out just a sigh of, this is going to be such a fucking headache.
That's a way to do it.
And he will follow along.
Long story short, I'm assuming most people, like the rest of the party, will follow suit.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're all let into this warehouse room with no issue. The gentleman who let you in goes back and continues the conversation that he was having.
I'm just gonna walk over to a corner and
I'm just going to highlight him with a little extra thing so you know which one that is. So in addition to the doorman and the groups of commoners that you've seen, you also see Officer Kent in conversation, as well as on the other side of the room, a human woman, late Middle Ages, with a very stern, severe look on her face.
I want to I don't know what would that be, but try to filter through the song to see probably where the is having s- who is having some a conversation that's important and try to get close to it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, just kind of like feel out the room, listen to all the
Yeah,
sentences, try and zone in on one that sounds more important than others.
yeah.
I think that would probably be like a more like a an insight check because you're trying to like analyze the importance, the intent.
Okay.
Others may do the same if they wish.
Oh no, Jar right next to this guy is going to do something else, but I'll let you finish with Cain.
Yeah,
Fairs.
Umbra would kind of walk to a corner, lean against these barrels, and start just listening. Trying to filter out unimportant information and important information from what he can hear.
Okay, do you want to give me an insight check as well then to do the filtering?
Yeah.
Cool. A little less successful, but you have had, some practice at this in your life. So both Mavis and Umbra are able to tell that the conversation that the doorman and Kent are having with a couple of their cohorts seem to be quite interesting. They're talking about the efforts that Kent has been doing to help the cause. This woman in the corner, Mavis, you can hear that she is mostly just asking the group of commoners she's talking to a great amount about their lives. She seems to be very interested in what they have to say about themselves, which isn't particularly interesting.
Okay.
And the group that Jar is closest to are currently talking shop.
Jar goes up to the man right next to them and kind of just like pats their shoulder firmly with their like thick calloused hand and just says, "Hello there. So what is the entirety of this entire meeting around here? I'm new in town."
Oh, are you traveling from one of the Guardians' other locations? Same as Emmeline?
I am from Jathan.
Oh, quite a way.
Yes, I have traveled quite far in my years.
Well, I know that we do have an how do you say quite a large presence out there. It's good to see a fellow comrade from so far away. Your friends? Are they also from Jathan?
Jar like turns and looks and notably like recognizes only Brook to be the only competent like craftsman amongst all of them. And then just like turns back and says, "No, these are simply companions who do share in the ideals of the layman, though."
On that subject, what would Zellenbrook be up to once you enter in?
Zell would probably just find a inconspicuous spot amongst the people and just try to sort of look like they belong.
Cool. There's despite what the tokens say, there is a bit of a mix of different races around. Is anyone else hearing a bit of an echo?
No, not on my end.
No.
No, too.
No,
Just me. Maybe I have got like monitoring on. Sorry. just heard my voice and it threw me off. Yeah, there's a pretty wide selection of people that you're able to like blend in well with. I'm not going to ask you to roll like a performance check because these people would be like very similar to the types that you grew up with. Blending is pretty easy. It's mostly acting like yourself.
Yeah.
What about Brooke?
Huh. Well, Brooke can't really blend in. I'll be blunt. Brooke is really scared at the moment. He does not like any of this situation. He right now feels alone, so he is staying by the door in case he needs to run.
He has been just like straight up called out by Jar as well.
Basically, yeah.
You can't see their eyes, but from what you can tell from Jar's posture, you're pretty sure that they were talking about you and looking right at you.
Yeah, that doesn't work wonders for Brooke. He's being nervous right now.
Fairs. And once Cain has ascertained everything that they wanted to about the conversations, what is it that they do?
Cain will be by the door too, and with the hood on, because I think I have a pretty unique face. So I'm trying to be hide as much as I can into my clothes, and I'll keep company to Brooke and be at the door,
Okay.
just in case like someone's trying to escape. If something's happened, try to block the way.
Fair enough, fair enough. With everyone just kind of mingling in, this woman will begin to approach. She will approach Jar directly. Welcome!
Hello!
You must be one of the new members.
Oh, I am no member, but I am new.
Wonderful. Well, we're all new here in one way or another. My name is Emmeline Oram.
I am Jar.
A wonderful name. I can see where you get it. It's a masterfully made jar. Did you make it?
Why, yes, I did. I spent most of my youth training under my father, who was a potter.
Oh, wonderful. And he taught you everything that you know?
Why, yes. In fact, I still have the tools from when I was in my youth.
That is rather beautiful. Who made those tools?
My other father.
Why, such a talented family. The meeting will begin soon. Help yourself. And she gestures over to the back wall where she was standing. You realise there's a small table with some refreshments. Nothing fancy. A couple of flagons of beer, a couple of flagons of water, bread, cheese, some form of like honey roasted ham that's been sliced up.
Before she leaves, Jar would like to just kind of like halt her temporarily and just be like, as I am new and as I have not enough information about the current meeting and process, what exactly is the intent of this?
Well, this is a meeting of the Guardians of the Earth. We're going to talk about how to make the world a more simple and equal place.
And then Jar's just gonna kind of like look in the general direction of. I wanna point out, Jar doesn't know necessarily that this is Kent.
Okay.
As far as they're aware, this is just kind of like the guard that they met at the market, and that's how they remember him. And they're just gonna kind of like look in the direction of Kent and say, "And what of the peacekeeper?"
He has his problems, but he has his uses as well. We will come across him when the time is right.
Can I try to ascertain like her intent? Like, is she thinking that this is like, is she kind of like wary of him, or is she thinking that this is like a pocket puppet situation?
Interesting. That will be an insight check.
So far, that's the only thing I'm good at.
Ooh, you're pretty good at punching
That's
doors
unfortunate.
too. But right now you're paying attention to too much. The noises are kind of ringing around in that odd jar, and as best you can tell, she's being like quite open. Not much to hide.
There are uses for those who you think can help you move forward in your own ideals. But you must be wary, for a snake is still a snake, and can always rear back and bite you.
Aye. But snakes are pretty good at keeping mice away from the grains. And with that, she kind of bows away and moves down over to the door. Hello. You're welcome to come in if you like. She reaches her hand out to like offer a handshake from either Cain or Brook. Do either of you accept?
Depends what the wisdom save says.
Oh God.
No, he doesn't. He's that scared.
Oh, buddy.
I mean, he is basically like a young adult by either of his culture's standards.
Yeah, there. What about Cain? As if you are talking. Okay.
I think I'll just stare at the hand, look at it, and I'll be like, "Well, thank you." I try to be polite, not be like an asshole, not trying to, commune with her, but just like try to transpire that I'm not comfortable with um, direct contact, and I'll be like, "Thank you." I just make company to my companion. He's rather uncomfortable right now.
I understand. It can be hard being in a new place. And this is a time of much change. Well, I think it's about time for the meeting to begin.
Wonderful.
And she bows away and steps up to a more like central position. Which point the doorman will step up, clear his throat. Welcome, one and all, to the first guest speaker meeting of the Guardians of the Earth Thescon chapter. We are very pleased today to have Emmeline Orman, noted philosopher, radical thinker, political enemy. And he'll step aside while clapping. A couple of people join him in the applause, but Emmeline holds up a hand. Please don't applause for me. I am no better than any of you. We are all equal here. That is what I have come here to talk to you about. Many citizens of the world believe that we simply need to select a new emperor or empress to replace our also dearly departed Emperor Versailles. One group, the chauvinistic, undying court, have decided that their family is so clearly the only ones qualified that they simply seized the power. Does that sound fair and equitable to anyone here? No. There's a few people that are echoing and cheering, no, it doesn't, around the room. She continues. Then we have the condescendingly named faction, the Enlightened. A group of aristocrats who tell us that they are only they are educated and worthy enough to decide how we all must live our lives. A group so weak it bends to the new incumbent emperor and rolls over to continue their own enrichment. Truthfully, they don't care about their subjects or who is on the throne, as long as they are the ones closest to it. And them so-called children of the empire, that faction, the Equitable Council of Princes and Princesses, they argue that by adding more of their ilk to the system, children born into nepotism, that they're somehow creating something different, something more equal. How are 3 dictators any better than 1? They're not. Again, the commoners, a couple of them are really starting to take her speech to heart, and they're shouting, no, they're not, fuck them, and those types of things. She continues, and no better than them are the cowards, the core of night. They require the existence of aristocrats, because who else would they then steal from to enrich their own greed? We must revolt against these ideas that the state is the de facto and indeed the only way to live, but we live under it, not above it. The tragic inevitability of revolutionary upheavals is a path of violence. Who are the ones who make the clothes, furniture, homes, and tools for the state? We are. What do we get in return? A fraction of the wealth we produce for these leeches. The existence of the empire and its money fuels its own gluttonous appetite for greater wealth. Because wealth means power. The power to subdue, to crush, to exploit. The power to enslave, to outrage, to degrade. To attain true freedom, we must shrug off the shackles of our oppressors. Feudalism is incompatible with humanoid dignity. Who are the ones who make the weapons, the armour, the automata of war? We do. We must spread the word. A day will come soon where across the land we will seize the control of our lives back. Because no faction that functions for the empire will allow it. Even now, they develop new magical weaponry to control our free will and corrupt our children, as one of our operatives has been able to ascertain. Can't. She bows, kind of acknowledging that her speech is over, gestures towards Kent, and steps back.
Cain would like to keep looking at Ken while she was doing the speech to see how he was reacting to her words. If he was really feeling it, or if he was like, whatever, you know.
Interesting. That would be an insight, please. The speech is just so inspiring.
Let me use my knowledge from past life to add 6. Because that's not good. Oh, 10. Still not good.
But you remind the speech is very, very inspiring, and you're often quite distracted by what she has to say. But you're trying to muster yourself up and remind you of why you're here. And Kent is watching. He seems happier with the end part of the speech, where it's about to be handed over to him and allow him to talk to his heart's desire, and the bit about how violence is inevitable within a revolution. You can see he's really taking that to heart. The derision that Emmeline has for these other factions, he's not too interested in.
Okay.
Anyone else wanted to react at all, either during or after the speech, before I go on with Kent?
I guess Umbra would kind of, during the speech and everything, try and collect or recollect himself. And has he ever heard of this person before?
Interesting. Roll me a history check.
11.
It's not a big stretch of the imagination to think that you would have heard of the name. Not through the Core of Knights, but just through general information dissemination. She once attempted to assassinate one of the Emperor's most right-hand aristocrats, someone who runs a prison in the capital city, Amisling. She was only let go because there wasn't sufficient evidence that it was her. A rather brilliant lawyer helped get her found not guilty.
Is this a rather brilliant lawyer that we know, or?
The newspaper, to your recollection, didn't specify the name of the lawyer. Just that their legal practice, their legal representation was very good. She is a well-known anarchist writer who also talks a lot about the fact that in her mind everyone should be treated equal and no one should own others.
Would Zell know this?
Roll a history check as well. And anyone else that wants to think on the name. 10 or above, you've heard of her. Oh, you've heard of her.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, that wouldn't be surprising, but yeah.
Yeah, it was about 2 years ago. It was all over the newspapers, and growing up in the very slow area that you did, newspapers were something you'd often read and reread a lot. So you would have indeed heard that the Emmeline or man, it was a rather dangerous individual with rather dangerous ideas, and was absolutely just slated as being an incredibly dangerous person in the newspapers. It again does, for your recollection, the name of her lawyer is not mentioned, but it was mentioned that the lawyer was also jailed by the Empire. And the pronoun he is used to refer to the lawyer.
What's currently happening at this moment?
So Emmeline has just finished her speech, and she was she was segueing into Kent talking about something. So I'm just resolving what other people are saying before we get into that. Sorry, I mean, just resolving if there's anything people wanted to react to Emmeline.
Okay. Well, Zell would probably, if others, if there's any applause from the group, I would probably Zell would probably join in.
Yeah, there is
Zell
a good amount of applause.
would also probably like to slightly move position closer.
Closer to Emmeline.
Yeah.
Yep, that's no problem. Cool. No one else? I'll go on with Kent.
Is Harrison in the room?
Yes. Judging from the vague like family resemblance, this appears to be Harrison.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
No props. Anyone else? Cool. Kent will step up. Thank you for the rousing speech, Miss Orman. Indeed, I have been operating within the City Watch, as many of you know, for the better part of the last 6 months, helping to weed out the cowardly core of knights that infest our city. It has recently come to my attention, thanks to a particular captive that we have, that they have now started recruiting children, and they have been experimenting on corpses. I have been following the trail, trying to find a 15-year-old that one of the adults have been grooming into service. It is frankly disgusting behavior. I ask anyone to look out for someone with abnormally red hair. They are part of the same family and would surely want to know where their 15-year-old relative is. And if anyone has information on where the core can be found, let me know so we may rid the city of their filth. Thank you. There's not much in the way of applause for Kent, more just a concerned muttering. It's like, the children? Not the children. That's evil. It's awful. Emmeline will step up once again. Thank you all for coming. Please help yourself to food, water, beer, whatever you may like. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and remember the change starts from inside the home. There's lots of applause, and things seem to become more loosey-goosey once more. Emmeline goes back into conversation with Harrison and Kent, and others begin milling around. A couple of them are looking to leave. They kind of awkwardly step between Cain and Brook, and the room empties out a little more. What do you all want to do?
Try to listen to Emily and Kent conversation, most of all.
Okay. Considering like a lot of conversation has just broken out around the room, you might need to step a little closer if you wanted to eavesdrop well, but you can try from there with a perception check.
Okay, and I just want to ask, is this a room or just no? The
Ye-
black thing.
What, this up here?
Yes.
Yeah, so there's a door here.
Oh, okay. So while I'm approaching, I want to like have a look at the inside too, if I can see anything.
And so the door is shut, so the only way you'd be able to like have a look inside the door is to bend down and peep through the keyhole,
Okay, okay.
which
I
would be
don't mind
quite,
that.
yeah. Maybe
Quite
Umbra could pull it
suspicious.
off, but I'd be impressed if you could. Speaking of, how's Umbra been taking this very anti-core of night talk?
He's just leaning against a barrel, you know? He's kind of blending in, nodding along. He'll switch walls that he's leaning on, go from a barrel to a wall so he can properly see them.
Cool.
And then he'll just, stare forward, can't really tell where he's looking, and just watch them.
Fair enough. Brooke, how's them nerves?
He's left. As soon as it was socially acceptable to leave, he's gone.
Okay. Poof. You will have left the room. I assume you'd be hanging around the square outside? Or lurking in a corner, hiding from other people leaving?
Somewhere nearby. Bench or something.
Fair enough, fair enough. What about Jar?
Jar has been standing cross-armed the entire time, both through Emmeline's and Kent's talk. But Jar is just kind of like standing there, just kind of like looking in the direction towards Kent specifically.
Just standing there menacingly.
Just standing there, yeah.
Okay. And Zell?
So I would like to write something down on a piece of paper.
Would this be a piece of paper that's just gone into my inbox? Oh, I see. That'll take you about a minute to do then.
Would it be
what
okay if I gave you the contents of the paper afterwards?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
You can resolve
In
that.
that case, yeah. I'm gonna resolve that between sessions, but yeah.
Okay, fair enough. So Umbra, you're looking out of the room. Are you trying to like eavesdrop in on a particular conversation as well?
If I can hear anything about, like, the conversation here, I will, but it's more keeping an eye on them to see if anything's exchanged, anything like that.
Okay, so that would be a perception check as well. But instead of focusing on what they're saying, you're focusing on what they're doing. It's really
No.
not Umbra's night, though, all of a sudden. It's, the dark room, your dark hood and mask, they're all really stifling your ability to stare right now. Cain will overhear, essentially the three are just talking about how well it went. And that they're quite optimistic that things will improve in the city, and Emmeline's plans of where she's going to go next. And she has a couple of different ideas about other places that need introducing to their rights. She thinks that the people in Leston are desperately in need of an awakening, in her words, so she may visit the capital city, Talma. But other than that, the conversation seems to be pretty light. Nothing like too important. They do talk briefly about the redhead that they're looking for, and Emmeline does want to be updated by post or telegram if they ever do manage to resolve that. But overall, the meeting seems to really, wind down more. More people are disappearing. And Emmeline will nod goodbye. Thank you all for coming. Have a wonderful evening. And is going to open the door into here. You can briefly see, Cain, that it is an office of some form.
Okay.
And she'll walk in there. And Harrison will raise his voice. As the lady said, thank you all for coming, but if you could all now return to your homes. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you. Do you all go to leave?
Yeah, Umbra's
Yeah.
going to exit and slink to like the shadows on the side. He intends to try and follow Kent once that he leaves.
Cool. Everyone else leaving as well?
Yeah, and I'll
Um,
take Jar with me.
Cool.
Zell would like to quickly grab Kent's attention.
Yes.
Hey, hi. I honestly wasn't expecting to see someone in the guard here, and it. Well, let's say what you're doing is very good. Would you mind giving someone a hand in clay shade? I'm fairly sure that it'll be worth the time of everybody here. I say, and I give them the name of the fortune teller in clay shade written on a piece of paper and hand it to him.
Miss Jessamine.
Yeah, Miss Jessamine, yes.
Ah, of course. I'm more than happy to help people. What is it she needs?
Something about bad onions. I'm not sure, but I think it's definitely up your alley. I'm saying, Zol says, thanks again. I got places to be. And I sort of give him a tap on the arm.
Okay. Kent will wait for most of you to leave before leaving himself. So with that, I assume most of you will go back out onto the street.
Mhm.
Yeah. Jar will leave.
You find a wild brook just sitting on a bench next to a tree in the corner of the square. Umbra, I'm assuming, is stealthing again.
He's gonna kind of like hide a little bit before Kent comes out and then attempt to follow him.
Hopefully telling the party about your plan so they don't follow you and bust your cover.
Well, I mean, as we get out, basically, like as I'm presuming Umbra leaves as like Zell's walking up. So it's gonna be kind of like look to Brook. I'm going to tail him and then move to shadows.
Fair. You want to do that stealth roll?
12.
Luck's really not doing so great, is it?
No, nothing like rolling a 4.
Yeah.
Well, to be honest, he got a natural 20 in stealth.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah,
it's all
the
been
first roll
downhill
of the
from
night
there.
was in that 20. Yeah.
That's what happens when you roll it too early.
Yeah, now you've got like a 10, 4, 11. What are the others doing then? Umbra's going to tail Kent, but what about the other 4?
I don't know if that would be a good time to milk the platypus. And if we are even doing that plan at all.
It sounds kind of bad when you say it, and one person here has that out of context.
Take the is the venom or is it poison?
It's a venom.
Okay, take the venom out of the platypus. You like to uh uh do it with cans. Deal.
Well,
Okay, so go for it.
when we all leave as a group, like, is Kent like immediately behind us?
No. He hasn't left yet at all. But a couple of minutes after you will leave Umbra waiting in the shadows near the door, you will see Kent leaving with his brother Harrison. The pair of them will walk past, and Kent will look directly at Umbra. Just nod and say, "Have a nice night."
Not you as well. And then
Nods.
Umbra will.
Yeah, nods to the rest of the group, saying the same thing, and then we'll leave. You can hear his footsteps going to the north.
So we'll say, once he's left, so we'll say it was a bit of a quick thinking, but I thought I'd get him to go somewhere where we'd know where he'd be. So I think tomorrow he might show up in Clayshade now.
But wait, seeing the direction he's going, can I assume he's going to the inn or some place that I know?
So he's heading like north, so he could be heading back towards the square, anywhere really in like the top half of the city. You can guess, but it would be impossible to know.
Yeah. So do we wait until tomorrow to him to possibly go to Jasmine? But that's the thing. We still don't have a final plan on how to deal with him.
I mean, there was like I was sort of counting on Bruce, but has anybody got any other ideas?
We haven't met like a mayoral figure in the town yet.
No. You would assume that the town hall would be where they'd be. In fact, according to
The map, there is a town hall.
according to Davina's guide to Rolane, the town hall specifically states that it is where the mayor lives, which you can see under the Rolane Keys handout. But this time of night, it's very unlikely that they'd be accepting visitors. Unless you can convince the mayor or his assistant that it is a matter of urgency that you be seen.
No. Umbra's gonna look to the others and gonna give a nod. I believe it is best if we regroup in the morning. I have a few ideas, and there is something I'm going to go handle right now. I'll be back at the tavern shortly.
Okay then.
So the tavern, the lower one, isn't like a sleeping inn. There's no bedrooms that have been advertised. It's just a pub.
Ooh.
Ah,
So only the good one.
Yeah. Or any other place that you can think of. You know, maybe the core of Night headquarters. As some of you may remember, there are some rather small padded cells.
Don't remember me.
I mean, there's also the North Arms coaching inn.
That's the upclass thing.
Yeah, the good one.
Yeah. But it seems like it's that or nothing, unless y'all want to go sleep in the streets.
And the garden. With Bush. Yeah, then we should head to the tavern, to the inn tavern,
The
and
good
see if we
one.
can afford. Yeah, if we can afford to sleep in.
Which one was where are we going?
The
Number
North
2.
Arms coach.
Number
and
2.
Cool. I assume everyone but Umbra.
Yeah. Umbra would be following that path because he's going to slip in and try to return to the core.
Cool, fair enough. So the 5 of you will get to the coaching inn. You can hear that there are quite a few horses that have been stabled inside of the inn. Although things seem to be winding down a bit more. The innkeeper will look the group of you over in just a worried look, and she'll just say like, "Lodgings or food?"
Lodgings, please.
2 gold for the lot of you.
Sell throws in 1 gold.
Yeah, Jar offers a piece of gold as well.
Great. Well, all I've got left for you is a common room. I hope you brought your bedrolls. Otherwise, rental will be another 5 silver.
Oh yeah, I have a bed roll. Wow, thank you.
You should all have bedrolls in your inventory, I believe.
Yeah, I guess.
Doesn't actually appear in mine, but shrug.
I can give you mine. I won't need it.
It's a fairly common and inexpensive item, so I'd say it's probably likely you'd have one. Just a heads up, my throat is really beginning to hurt. I'm not 100% better from this cold I've had. So I'm not sure how long I'm going to be able to run for, I'm afraid.
Don't worry.
Okie dokie.
No problem.
Yeah, you have to come first.
I got some water beside me and I'm hydrating, but yeah, it's starting to really hurt. So how about we settle down for the night? We can resolve a bit of what Umbra is wanting to do. And we can call it from there so I can rest myself.
Okay.
Cool. So, at what point does Umbra sneak away? Probably
he's just
when you're going
walking.
past the
Yeah, like
hospital.
he'll go there and then he'll just slip into the building.
Cool. So unless there's anything else that the other four of you guys want to do, I'm assuming that you all go to the common room, settle down on your bedrolls, and begin to sleep.
Yep.
Cool. So Umbra, you follow the path that you know of that leads back to the underground hideout of the core. And what do you do?
He's going to whoever seems to be in charge in like that common area. He's going to ask to speak to the leader, whose name I am blanking on.
Face?
He has two names. He is known as the Face Man, but you have also established that he is the Watcher.
But he's not the Watcher I am after.
You sure about that?
Yeah, I was
What?
genuinely confused about this plot points as well.
Okay, go
Like,
for it.
I thought we were there to like kill the person, but then we took a job from them, and I found it very baffling. And I'm just like, okay, I just sort of assumed Umbra knew what was going on.
No, I was to my assumption that these were two separate people. This was the person in charge of this cell, and that the Watcher was still at large with Hayden.
No, it was established in the session with Dagger just before you were brought down into here for the first time that the Watcher is the Face Man. So I was a little confused too when you told the Watcher that you were going to kill the Watcher. But I assumed you'd probably forgotten.
Yeah. In that case, things would, yeah.
I will allow you to I'm not gonna I'll allow you to retcon the telling the Watcher to the face bit,
Yeah.
because I wasn't gonna stop it there at the time and just be like, you do know that X is Y, right? Because the
Yeah.
pacing was good and I wanted to introduce the others, but yeah.
Okay, yeah, then in that case I wouldn't have told him to his face I'm going to kill him.
Yeah, you would probably have just said like, I am here on core business or something to that effect.
Yeah. In which case, I mean, at the end of the day,
Umbra would definitely
Umbra's
be
going
smarter
to
than
help the core.
Yeah.
He's going to help the core, and he's also going to be smarter than to just walk up to the leader in the middle of their place and go, I am here to kill you.
Hello, my name is Umbra. Just prepare to die.
It's just like, hello, I am being paid to kill you. Also, do you have a job for me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine how
Yeah.
that would be confusing to some.
Yeah, Umbra will come up. Is the face man available, the Watcher?
It's just the nature of like these types of campaigns where there's a lot of NPCs, there's a lot of different names to remember and juggle. Always refer to the NPC spreadsheet that Sarah or me made up in the info tab if you ever get confused. I won't be the only one who updates it because I want it to be something that you guys, maintain for yourselves. But I will be there to like correct anything that is been written down incorrectly or add characters that I feel like you should have added. But yeah, just that is there just as help. The bartender will nod They're in the back.
Very well. Umbra will walk up to the guard. Is he going to be stopped at all?
Nope, he's waved in. Door is opened for him. Excuse me.
Umbra will return, stand center of the room.
Not going to do the voice as much as I did last time, because otherwise my throat will be fucked. Hello.
A bit of a status update onto the Kent situation.
You were quick.
We have confirmed that he is a part of the Guardians of the Earth, and we had infiltrated a meeting of theirs. They thought that we were members of them as we knew the knock to gain access to their hideout. A figure of interest and note appeared, which caused me to wish to alert you and to seek guidance. One Emmeline Aram was there to speak.
Emmeline Oram. Interesting. That is dangerous news for Kent.
Indeed, I witnessed her and him speaking quite cordially, as well as with his brother after what had happened
Excellent.
during the meeting.
This is
I
exactly
can
the
bring-
kind of news we wanted.
I can bring this attention to the mayor tomorrow, however. This Emmeline seems to be of a threat to the core. Should I see to it that she no longer is?
No. We will keep her under observation for now. Apparently the threat is more serious. Otherwise we wouldn't have outsourced it, but thank you for your due diligence nonetheless. We will be able to use this information to our great advantage. An officer of the law canoodling and conspiring with the known criminal of the political system? The mayor will want to know about this.
Indeed, I shall inform the mayor in the morning, as well
No.
as my party.
We will do so. We have an inside with the mayor.
Very well. Their specific location that they meet is one of the buildings within. Let me get up the key here. Within the textile manufacturing square. It's one of the ones, the south one, directly beside the gate. It is currently where Emmeline is residing, and where their meeting happened. The code to get in was 3 knocks on the door, paused, followed by 4 knocks.
Many
They welcomed
thanks,
us as
Umbra.
brothers.
We will take it from here. Now, I know that there was a reward that you were seeking. Return here tomorrow when she is awake, and you will have it. For now, your part in the matter of Kent is done.
Indeed, we shall return tomorrow then. With that, Umbra will give a slight bow before turning to depart.
He isn't stopped at all in departing, so I'll just move you back onto the city map.
With that, Umbra is going to follow to the inn. He will say that he's with the party of weirdos that showed up probably a little while ago. The weird person crying blood, the person with the jar on their head, the half goat man, the guy with the gas mask.
Ah, yes, that, yeah. Up the stairs again. First door on your right.
Umbra will leave 4 silver on the barkeep. I understand they probably paid, but at least allow me to offer a bit more compensation for the extra body.
Thank you kindly. Have a good night.
You as well. And then he'll head up and enter and rest as well.
Lovely. Has everyone been kind of just like setting up like their bedrolls or otherwise making themselves comfortable, or is there anything in particular that you're doing?
Jar had gone to sleep.
The echoes from the jar enunciate your snoring effectively.
So before we go to sleep, Umbra is going to look. We have Brook, Zell, and
Cain.
Cain. He's just going to look at them all, shift so he can get them all within his sight. And then we're going to have a bit of fun. As we are all going to be connected psychically
Ooh.
Lovely.
for 1 hour. And you all just hear in your heads, "Do not be startled. This is a power that I, Umbra, control."
Does anyone startle at this? Does Brooke need to roll another wisdom save?
Zell would be
God damn it! You're medium level scared.
Zell would be slightly startled and then slightly annoyed, but otherwise would get out a piece of paper and start writing down a poem. As part whilst in the middle of the conversation.
Cool. How
And
does
how do the
Cain
others
react?
Yeah, I'll be just fine. Like it is something that I'm somehow used to. I'll be like, quite some time since I met someone with such powers. But please go on.
You hear in your heads, "It helps when we need to be quiet or when I need to speak to someone specifically in a crowded area. I am trying to ensure that the headstrong dolt doesn't wake up and hear what I'm about to share."
Zell glances at Jar and says, "That's actually a really good idea." Jar is Jar is certainly a character, but subtlety is not one of their traits.
To be fair, I don't think anything would wake him up now.
I am unsure and do not wish to risk it given the information I am about to share.
Fair.
I returned to the core to alert them of what we have witnessed today. And it appears that we are done with this work. They will contact the mayor, and this is more than enough that we have witnessed Kent with Emmeline. It should serve them well, this information. We will have our reward tomorrow.
Zell's like, it's like, damn it! I wanted to throw the platypus at him.
Within this, I know both Zell and Brook are aware of my goals. However, Cain, I wish to bring you into the fold, and I do not think Jar will have issue with it. However, it is best that he does not know that I intend to kill the Watcher.
Kill him, you say?
Indeed, once we have the girl safely in our possession, custody, I guess is a better word, to return her to her sister and mother, wherever they may have wound up, then the Watcher has run out of use. I have a bounty for his head.
You mean the kid that was mentioned in the meeting earlier?
Sorry, what was that?
You mean the kid that was mentioned in the
Oh,
meeting?
yes, that is, in fact, one of our um, associates' little sister.
I see.
That
Well,
is why we came here in search of her.
if the kid is involved, you can count with me and my help.
Very well. One specific thing, once that the Watcher is dead, I will be taking his head. Ensure that his mask is not removed. That is part of what I must do. There is a chance we may have to kill everybody down there. However, it is a small price to pay for the Watcher's transgressions to be paid in kind. There is a chance that if I announce my authority of who I work for, they will not attack us and simply allow this feud and power play to happen, see who wins, and adjust course. There is a chance that some may be fiercely loyal to him.
Very well. And may I ask, what's your plan to locate the child?
Our agreement was that if we helped with the Kent problem, then she would be returned to us, into our custody, so that we may return her to her family, and all will end that, and all's well that ends well.
Very well then.
I am sure Jar will be more than happy to slay some people that held him in captivity.
You know what they say about assuming.
It's always right.
That it does, but I would prefer him not to know until the moment it happens. I do
I
not
think-
need him to burst down the door and announce that we are here to take his head.
I think if Jar were to perceive it as a necessary act of self-defense, we wouldn't have a problem. So long as we can frame it in such a fashion.
I can use this ability to speak directly to the Watcher to let him know that we are here to kill him. Then perhaps he will attack first, we will be in self-defense, and we are more than good.
If you think you can make it work,
There's a possibility. As well, my method of fighting is my psychic gifts. There's a chance that if I simply throw a knife of psychic power, it leaves no damage to the body, and it may just damage the Watcher, and he will understand the threat and attack us. If Jar does not understand my ability, there is a chance that it could be seen as self-defense.
It
okay,
will work.
sounds good. What would you recommend would be the best time to attack?
Oh, this is going to be after we have secured Hayden into our custody, and only then. If we cannot have both, then we must wait. I'm a patient man. I am not about to throw away our only lead on Hayden and where Davina and her mother went.
Very well then. We have a plan, I guess.
So, we're dropping this thing with the we're dropping this thing with Kent. We're waiting until we've sorted this thing out with Hayden, and then we're going after the Watcher.
Indeed, I do not intend to leave Verlaine until I have the Watcher's head in my hands.
It's like, how much time has passed? Are we? I'm asking. Are we running out of time to get back to the prince? This is out of character asking.
Yeah, it's been 3 days since you saw the prince. So you'd
Was it
need to
two?
leave in the next 2 days. to be able to get back there on time.
Zell says, "Do you think we're abandoning our chance to get back in the prince's employment?"
Oh, if things move quickly enough, then yes. Where Davina has ended up is a mystery. However, if we return her sister to her mansion, I am sure her and her mother will come home. I am sure the
Okay.
maids and servants there can take care of poor poor Hayden until her loving mother and sister return home.
Says, I turn to Cain and ask, "Did we mention about the prince?"
You do not. You did not.
Zell asks, would you be interested in working as a bodyguard for the Prince of Ardra?
Well, if you want to, I mean, I don't care much about the prince itself, but if you think it's nice information to share,
It's just like, well, it pays better than anything else we've been doing of late.
so it's only for gold.
Just like, I turn to Umbra and say, I can't remember the last time we got paid for something.
There's more payment in this world than just gold.
I do agree.
All right. Well, we'll see how it goes. If we can get this all sorted on time, then we know where we're going next. If not, I guess we'll figure it out.
Very well.
Indeed, it seems we shall regroup in the morning and head back to the core and play things from there.
Very well.
Very well. Well,
Do you
good
all head
night
to
then.
sleep?
Yeah.
Or do you want to do watches?
Well, I don't need to sleep, so I can keep watch all night.
Fair enough.
I mean, Brook trances, but I think he unintentionally takes a watch because he's listened to that entire conversation and he's really fucking scared now.
Bless him. Well, while you're taking watches, it's a good chance for you to ponder what you want to do now you are all level 4.
Ooh.
Hey!
Yay!
As you have
Do I
now
want-
completed your first intriguing quest.
Oh goodness, what do I want? Do I want more dexterity, or do I want a fun little feat?
A fun little fate.
And with that, we'll end the
First
session officially, but feel free to vibe and level up for a bit.